Today, we're going to dive deep into a single, incredibly powerful verse from the book of Revelation, all about the primacy of intimacy. Okay, so let's just start with a question that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about. I mean, think about it. Have you ever been so busy doing things for someone, maybe a spouse, your kids, a cause you believe in, that you kind of accidentally drifted away from them? You're doing all the work, but the connection, it's just not what it used to be. It's a really subtle problem, but it's a profound one. Well, that is the exact issue at the center of our verse today, Revelations 2, verse 4. This is a message from Jesus to a church that, honestly, from the outside looking in, seemed to have it all together. It's a sharp correction, for sure, but it's also a really deep, personal plea. So let's unpack this, because it's a real head-scratcher, a paradoxical problem. How can a church be getting all this praise for their hard work and their faithfulness, but at the same time get one of the most sobering corrections in the entire Bible? I mean, you have to understand, the church at Ephesus was a powerhouse. Seriously, they worked tirelessly for Jesus' name. They endured hardship with patience. They never gave up, and they were fierce, absolutely fierce defenders of correct doctrine. On paper, they looked like the perfect church. And this slide just perfectly illustrates that paradox. Look at this list of good things: labor, patience, endurance, purity, all amazing. And yet standing right against all of that is this one single correction that seems to outweigh everything else. You have left your first love. It wasn't a whole list of sins, was it? No, it was one foundational issue. To really feel the weight of this, we've got to become detectives for a minute. Let's actually dive into the original Greek language to decode what Jesus is really saying here. So, the very first word, Allah, is translated as nevertheless. Now, this is crucial. It's a word of contrast, not total condemnation. Think of it like a friend saying, "Man, I love all the amazing stuff you're doing, but we need to talk about this one thing." See? It sets the stage for a course correction inside a relationship that is still valued. Now let's look at the word for left, aphes. This means to let go of, to abandon, to depart from. This isn't about losing your salvation or totally ditching your faith. It's about letting distance creep in. It's about a gap growing in a relationship that's still technically there. Then we get protein for first, and this is so important. This doesn't just mean first in line, like the first person to show up. It means first in rank, first in priority, first in importance. It's the number one thing, the foundational thing that's supposed to hold everything else together. And finally, we have agapein, or love. And we're not talking about a fleeting feeling here. This is the Greek word for a deep, self-giving, committed kind of love. It's that devoted affection that's rooted in a real relationship. So, when you put all those pieces together, the diagnosis is crystal clear. The problem wasn't that they stopped believing. It wasn't that they stopped doing good things. The problem was a fundamental shift in their priorities. The relationship itself, which was supposed to be the most important thing, had been bumped from the number one spot. And that brings us right to the core conflict, this constant battle we all face: intimacy versus industry. From this single verse, we can pull out three absolutely crucial learnings. Number one, our activity for God can start to replace our intimacy with God. Number two, it is totally possible to be doing all the right things on the outside and still be drifting away on the inside. And number three, and this is the big one, any work we do that isn't flowing from that foundational love is, in the end, spiritually empty. You know, this isn't a new idea. It's actually pictured perfectly in the story of two sisters, Martha and Mary. Martha was all about the industry of serving. She was busy, she was anxious, totally focused on her to-do list. But Mary chose intimacy. She just sat at Jesus' feet and listened to him. And what did Jesus say? He called what Mary did the one thing needful, the top priority. See, this isn't just some tactical correction. It really pulls back the curtain and reveals the very heart of God. And it's a theme you see again and again throughout the scriptures. Just listen to this language from the prophet Jeremiah. This is God speaking, and he's reminiscing. He's remembering the early days of his relationship with Israel, that honeymoon phase, that passionate, devoted love. You can just feel the longing in these words. And then, centuries later, Jesus quotes another prophet, Isaiah, to make a really similar point. He says people can say all the right things, they can go through all the motions, all the religious rituals, but their hearts can be miles away. That outward appearance can hide a huge inner distance. So you see, this message to the church in Ephesus, it's not some isolated incident. It's part of this timeless plea from a God who, again and again, shows us that he desires real, heartfelt relationship way more than he desires our religious routine. But the story doesn't just end with a rebuke. And this is the best part. That warning, it actually contains a beautiful invitation, a way back, a path for returning to that first love. And this might be the most important takeaway of all. Revelation 2:4 is not a threat of punishment. It's a love cry. It's the deep, yearning call of a groom who simply wants his bride to come close again. The true invitation here is just so profound. Jesus isn't mainly focused on correcting their sin. He's trying to correct their disconnection. He's calling them, and he's calling us, out of the crazy whirlwind of activity and back into simple closeness. He wants to trade our frantic industry for quiet intimacy. He wants a relationship, not just a religious resume. So as we wrap this up, it all brings us back to that story of Martha and Mary, and it leaves us with a question for ourselves. In the middle of all our work and our service and our responsibilities, what is the one thing that is truly the most needful for you today?